20th. I slept in. I chose to sleep in today. I took off all my alarms. It's 9. It's gonna be 10. I mean, I didn't sleep until 10. I woke up a few times. I was a little nervous about going to sleep, just in case I had other dreams. And I even went to bed telling myself, like, okay, if it happens again, like, be prepared, be prepared. You can fight it off. You can fight them off. You can speak up. But I didn't have a dream. I actually woke up feeling rested, and for a split second I thought, oh, I didn't dream. And I felt like, ah, like there was literally a part that was just like thankful that I didn't dream. And then I started going back. And then the flashback was like, no, I did dream. I did dream. And all the it started coming back. The thing about this dream is that there was a storyline. There was clearly a storyline. And there were a lot of scenes. I remember the different scenes. So it felt like a movie. I didn't watch TV yesterday. I mean, yesterday, all I did, I was just trying to function yesterday, really. I really was just trying to function. And the good thing is that I only had like a few clients. And by a few, I meant like 3, 4, 5, 6. But they were nicely spread out. I think the first 3 in the morning were back to back. And I mean, sometimes when so my eyes were puffy. It was clear, like it was just clear. I looked exhausted and I was crying. So I usually wear my glasses so that it gives the impression that it could just be like, you know, something with the glasses that are messing with my eyes. It was hard to function yesterday. It clearly was hard to function, like just to stay present. And I felt so exhausted after that dream. And after the first 3 clients, what did I do? It was just really hard for me to function. And I think I took a couple naps. Like I couldn't. It was hard to function. And so I gave myself permission to take a few naps during the day. And then by the end, put music on because I was still like fidgety. I put my music on and I started dancing, and I took my B12 drink, and I just felt a lot better. I felt a lot better. By the end of the night, I felt a lot better. But I was noticing that I was gonna get a headache, so I tried not to stay up late, which is 11:30 for me. Because I was also La Doctora texted me, and I had been thinking about her, so I was texting her back. Oh, excuse me. So I was going to bed early, with the idea, with that thought process of like, okay, if it happens again, like, this is what you're going to do. Like, I'm thinking about it. This is what I'm going to do. You have a voice, you can speak up. So so I woke up and I was like, oh, I didn't have a dream. But then, you know, as I was waking up, I was like, oh, I did have a dream. But I was trying to rack my brain as to what type of dream it was, because it didn't feel like it fit any of the other types of dreams I've been having, where I was a part of it, almost like there was a clear storyline, so it made sense. So, because initially I thought it must be a junk dream because I don't connect with any of it. But then I'm like, but none of it speaks to what happened yesterday. And that's what Christina Loeb says a junk dream is. It's just like a breakdown of the events from the day before. I'm like, no, this has no connection to what I did yesterday. I didn't do much yesterday. And it was a full storyline. Like, it took place in the desert. It took place in the desert. Like, kind of like Desert Hot Springs, if you've ever been there. Or Victorville, like the desert. The whole storyline's about the desert. And there's a theme about politics. There's a clear theme about politics. There was a scene where the vice president got removed from office. And America Ferrera was in my dream. And I know she's politically involved. Like activist, right? So there's this theme of politicians, people in power, people being removed from power and replaced. And there was this theme of like the type of people that were being replaced were different. They were different. There were the belief systems were different. That was another theme. The belief systems were different. And there was this feeling of not even a feeling. It's not a feeling because I didn't feel. That's the thing with this dream. The impression. This was more of an impression that I got. The impression that I got was that there was a connection to tribal, a tribal way of doing life. Connection back to earth, something like that. There was something to that effect. I mean, it ended with a couple. They were older adults. It was an older adult couple. And they were in the desert. And I'm watching them. And they had been in scenes before. Not as old, but they were there. And there's this couple, and they're older adults, a lot more older now. And they're sitting outside in the sun. And there's this, it's just a weird dream. And there was just like this whole storyline. Yeah, there was a lot going on. There's a lot going on, but they were all connected. Like there was definitely a flow, a storyline that so it wasn't random stuff. There was a connection. The thing was that there was no emotional connection. There was no emotional tie in the sense of that it's for me, or if it's like a course correction for me, or there's no major symbolism like in other dreams where it's like this inner knowing of okay, I know what I need to do. Where I've woken up where I'm like, I know what I need to do. and there's no, even the other ones, like the one that's posting right now. The one that's posting right now is the one about the clearing, right? The one where it's really just how people, honestly, I have a feeling that it might be this whole Great Awakening thing that MJ's talking about, where there's going to be a group of people that are going to be forced to wake up, forced into the water, right? And so there's chaos, not knowing what's going on. And then so a group of them are going to be in this wandering, lost, I don't know where to go, and they're walking away from the door that's available. And then there's the helpers that are safe and secure, and they kind of already know. They already know what's happening. So I'm talking about that. Actually, no, the one this morning was about dreaming in color and black and white. Oh, where I had the dream of Hannah. So, so yes, okay. Um, so there's no connection. I don't think that I don't see a connection to my videos. One, I don't see a connection to me in terms of something that I need to do, or I wake up just knowing, or where there's symbolism, or where it speaks to where my healing is. And it doesn't feel like it's something, I don't know if it's something in the future, but I know it's not junk because it has nothing to do with what I did yesterday. So it's just this clear storyline of events. There's a theme about being people in office. There's also a theme about helpers, like therapists. But it's just interesting that I saw America Ferrera in it. And then there's the theme of politicians being moved around. And this sense of replacement of the way things were done before. And then the ending scene. The ending scene was that same couple that was kind of throughout the other scenes, and they're just older. And they're just they're sitting outside of their house in the sun without they're like just taking in the sun, like the energy from the sun. So they took off, like the man took off his shirt. She had like a tank top or something on, but there was no emotional connection that I could think of, really. So so that was just weird. So when I realized, okay, I had that dream, I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm trying to sit with it, right? I'm trying to like sit with it and feel it out. And I'm like, I don't feel like there was a strong feeling, in terms of feeling people's fears, or feeling people's, or my own, right? My own emotion about it. There was no, and or very, very little emotional connection to it. So I don't know what storyline it is. I go to sleep. Oh, that happens. I still don't feel like I want to wake up. So I lay down, try to go to sleep for another 30 minutes. I have another dream. And it's a similar feeling, completely different characters. And but in that particular, because it was shorter, the only scene that I can remember is this young man, and he has this ear thing, like an ear, it's like a really interesting hearing aid. And his friend comes up to him, and he's just like, "How you doing, man?" And then he says, "I'm good, man. I'm hoping this works," is what he said. He was referring to the ear thing, and he had a ball in his hand. And I'm trying to remember, was it a football or a basketball? It was some type of ball. But he was like dependent on this thing to work in order for him to play. And that's the only scene that I remember. I know there was more though. Like I woke up knowing there was more to it, but that's the only one that stands out. And I'm like, who is this person? There's no emotional connection to this person. It's like I'm just watching his life. And it was very the same if I could put a feeling to it, or just the experience of it was similar to that first dream, where I'm like, there's all these people, and there's a very faint connection. And it was one of those connections where it felt like I've heard similar stories. Kind of like with my clients, I've mentioned it before, where they share their stories, and I'm like, I know what that feeling, like there was just this knowing of like, I know what that feels like I know their story, it's familiar. I may not have a connection, like a actual, you're my sister or whatever, but the story itself, there's a connection with the story. So it was that type of connection to the first row of, I want to call it a movie because it was really drawn out. There was just that feeling of like, that seems familiar, that seems familiar. But I have no connection. It didn't feel like I had a connection to the storyline. The same thing with this short clip. So I don't know what that means. I don't know. It didn't feel like junk because there's no connection to it from yesterday. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've experienced something like that before, but we'll see if it continues. I just want to document that awareness. I feel a little bit better. I have clients in a few hours, 2 clients, and then I have class, the second class that I'm taking on, I think this one's going to be the politics of sexual violence, I think, or maybe that was, I don't remember which class I'm taking, but it's still on sexual violence, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Bye. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience, and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me. So